Coming up on today's show, we're going to check out some free agent targets for the Cleveland Browns. Now, quick disclaimer, we're filming this Thursday afternoon during our live show, so tune in next week if you want to be a part of that. So if any of these guys get signed, unfortunately, that's just the nature of free agency, so just move along to the next name. Now, I will say this. I think the Browns are probably pretty close to being tapped out for free agency or any more trades, but we are talking about Andrew Berry. Everyone described him at the Combine as being the most aggressive GM this offseason, so I'm not going to put it past him to maybe make another move or two. Now, the Browns' cap space right now is in the neighborhood of $10.7 million. They'll get some money once the John Johnson release goes through after June 1st. They also got to pay their draft picks, but none of them are going to get paid that much because they don't have a first or even second round draft pick. So they still got some money to spend, in my opinion. With that being said, let's talk about some potential free agent targets. Starting with the best guys left, going through 1 to 4. Yannick Ngakoue, too expensive. Would have been fun, not going to happen anymore. Bobby Wagner, now that's interesting, and we'll look at him in just a second. Odell Beckham Jr., that would be a lot of fun. He's in the category of why not, right? The Browns are just that good, why not? And then Leonard, Floyd, too expensive, just not going to work out for the Browns. But Bobby Wagner, when he got released by Seattle, I kind of thought he might sort of come down to earth a little bit. He was better last year with the Rams than he ever was in Seattle in recent memory, right? 140 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 5 pass breakups. He was one of the best, if not the best linebacker in football all of last year. Now, speaking of the Rams, they didn't overlap, but Odell Beckham Jr., does it make sense? Not really. Does it have to make sense? Also, not really, right? The Browns are just playing with house money at this point. They have accomplished everything they set out to do this offseason already. So if OBJ wants to come back to Cleveland for cheap and play with Deshaun Watson, or if Bobby Wagner wants to go to a contending team, and he decides, you know what, the Browns right now are just one Bobby Wagner away from going the distance, yeah, I wouldn't see why Andrew Berry would be opposed to either of these signings. So pick a player for me. Wagner or OBJ? If you had to pick one, who would it be? I think I would go Bobby Wagner because I feel like on offense we've approached a peak, but Wagner and JOK and Anthony Walker, tell me that would not be a very fun linebacker core to have. Some other free agent targets out there. Dalton Risner, guard, no. Frank Clark, now that's a name we'll keep an eye on, okay? Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback, no. DJ Chark, wide receiver, not going to happen anymore. We're going to look at Frank Clark specifically in just a second, but today's show is sponsored by Athletic Greens. Now, I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day, and so can you when you go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Now, I started taking AG1 because I got really tired of taking pills or vitamins each morning and wanted something that actually tastes great. And Athletic Greens does the job. They've got great ingredients and also for a great price as well. And they're going to get you guys some awesome benefits later on. Now, when you go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports, you're going to find out about all of the great benefits it comes with. Plus, you're going to get a comprehensive supplement plan that actually tastes great. Like I said, take it each morning. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water, and boom, it's done first thing in the morning. Really like that it costs less than $3 a day, which if you ask me is a win-win. So go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. When you use that link, which is in the comments and the description of today's show, you're going to find out that you will get 5 free travel packs along with a year-long supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Give them a visit today. Frank Clark, though, while he was with the Kansas City Chiefs following the Seattle Seahawks over the last 4 seasons, might not have been a regular season hero, but the guy was a postseason menace. And if you just think about it, is this room right now better with or without Frank Clark? Yeah, Perrion Winfrey would be nice because, He's cheaper, he's on his rookie contract, and he could develop into a long-time defensive tackle for this team. But you're telling me Myles Garrett, Dalvin Tomlinson, Frank Clark, and Obo Okoronkwo would not be an awesome defensive line to have? This could be a sneaky one to watch for. I think Frank Clark, if he doesn't get a lot of buzz elsewhere in free agency, March turns to April, April turns to May, and then training camp's around the corner and it's July, and he's in that veteran defensive tackle sort of tier of no one's interested in Ndamukong Suh anymore or something like that. Maybe the Browns pick up the phone and give him a call if Perrion Winfrey in August is not impressing them. And they're like, you know what? Let's go out and get someone who was awesome in the postseason because we have aspirations that go beyond Week 18. Now, I'm trying to get this channel up to 19,000 subscribers by the time the NFL draft rolls around, and we are about 1,000 subs away. I know it's a bit of a lofty goal to pick up 1,000 subs in just a few short weeks, but help me accomplish that goal, right? I would love to get a bigger Browns channel so I can do more videos for you guys here at Chat Sports. So if you're looking for more videos in return, hit that sub button down below. Some more free agents still on the market, at least as of right now. Poona Ford, that's another defensive tackle to keep an eye on, right? If the Browns decide Winfrey's not maybe their starting defensive tackle. Bud Dupree, no. Myles Jack, that's an interesting one because we always talk about linebackers now. Marcus Peters, no. But Myles Jack, remember, he was with the Jags for a while. We'll look at his stats last year from the Steelers, who released him earlier this offseason. He was just sort of meh for Pittsburgh. 104 tackles, 3 sacks, no tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups, no forced fumbles, no interceptions. He never really had a big play in the Steel City. So they decided we're going to move on. And I think this linebacker room with JOK and Anthony Walker and Taki, does it need Myles Jack? Probably not. But if they want to add some extra depth because they're a little concerned about maybe an injury happening or Walker or Taki not being ready early on the season, that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on for. So I think this would be more of a special team signing, right? Ignore Elijah Moore. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be Myles Jack. I don't see any big names coming, though, right? As a whole, the Browns might sign some special teamers, but I don't think they're going to go out and spend big money in free agency anymore. I think they're pretty much tapped out of that market, but don't rule anything out with Andrew Berry, as we have learned. So spam it down in the comment section below, a name of a player you would like the Browns to sign. Give me your top free agent targets still out there. Very curious who you got your sights on. Last 4 free agent targets to look at here. Clowney, funny. Isaiah Wynn, no. Taylor Lewan, no. Ezekiel Elliott, no, right? Why did you even give that even hesitation? He's looking at the Eagles just to troll the Cowboys, by the way. The Bengals could make some sense, right? Go back to Ohio. And the last team was the Jets, and the Jets just loved washed-up running backs. Le'Veon Bell, Matt Forte wasn't washed up, but he was towards the end of his career. So none of those names make sense to me. So I think of the guys we looked at, Frank Clark probably makes the most logical sense for what the Browns need and how much they can spend. Bobby Wagner would be a ton of fun, though, you have to admit. That's it for today's show. If you have not already, hit me up on Twitter. I'm talking NFL. I'm talking Brownies over there. So if that's something you're interested in, that's my Twitter handle down below, @Matthew Petey. Give me a follow. I love replying to Browns fans and going back and forth.